Hey guys, this is Lisa. Welcome back to my channel. Okay, we are talking Real Housewives of Orange County, Season 18, Episode 2, The Rent is Due. Guys, my grays are going crazy. That was like something else that I was supposed to do. I was supposed to dye my hair today because legit, my grays are just, they're wilding out. All right, so let's talk about the episode. The episode continues from Heather's New Year, New Me, whatever event that she was having for 2024. Alexis comes back in. Of course, since it's Heather's party, Heather decides to be the diplomat and, she goes and sees if Alexis is okay, but then she also goes and see if Shannon's okay. Well, anyway, they sit down and they have a game that they're playing, which is like a money grab machine. But instead of money, there are like pre-formed questions that are in there, and you're supposed to grab one of it, and when you're in the machine and you read what the question says. There's a few things that I want to say about that. Tamra Judge lick the freaking glass. That is so gross. I mean, I know nobody cares about COVID anymore, but still, that is just disgusting. That is like licking the doorknob at a public restroom or something. That is so gross. And like the cast, they were throwing a little shade at Jenn with the money grab machine because obviously she got evicted, and Heather was like, there's not enough money in there to pay her rent, more or less. Then, of course, one of the questions was about what piece of jewelry is most sentimental to Heather. Heather says her original engagement ring, which leads to Alexis talking about her promised ring. I really like Katie. Katie was like, is there a difference between promise and promised other than the D at the end? But maybe what she cares about is the D. Anyway, so I really like Katie, and we actually see more of Katie in this episode. We get a little bit of a background about Katie. I did find it a little rude that Katie was kind of like talking under her breath and whispering to Gina during Heather's party when Heather was talking. She was giving her little speech and whatever, but for some reason, Katie was like kind of like talking over her, muttering under her breath to Gina. She was talking about like how like the food was really small and stuff. And so she was talking underneath her breath to Gina about it. But to give you guys a little backstory, which Katie also mentions in the episode, she says that she actually met Heather with Sutton at an event, and she turned to look at Katie, and then she turned around and like, I guess, ignored her. So I guess Katie feels a bit like dismissed. Shannon and Tamra, they step outside to talk a bit. It went south really quick because Tamra all of a sudden is like, you're an evil person. You did so much shit to me. And whereas Shannon is like, okay, well, you liked an Instagram post or some shit with Alexis in it. By the way, Tamra has since hopped onto social media to clarify that, what the post that she was liking of Alexis had nothing to do with her hooking up with John, which is someone I call Slay Smiley 2.0. Now, I was a casual viewer, but even in the episodes that I remember watching, I remember that Slade was dating Gretchen, but he was like engaged to somebody else, and he was kind of like, I kind of feel like this John Jansen guy is Slade 2.0, but Tamra is saying that the post had nothing to do with her. It's like just a different post, and that was like what I was commenting on. That's what Tamra has stated now, currently, recently. Shannon feels different about it. She messaged Tamra, said something like, I would never give applause emojis, and Tamra text messaged her back like, grow the fuck up. Again, I don't know. I didn't see that original post. I don't follow these freaking ladies like that, so I don't know. I don't watch OC like that, so I don't even know if that post that Alexis put up had anything to do with John Jansen or not. But Tamra is saying it had nothing to do with it. Shannon feels differently about it. Alexis, her paper grab or whatever, it was like something about, what she would like to do regarding friendships. I don't even remember what the hell the question was, but she actually said something that was I felt very mature and surprising to me. But she also probably said it because she's very conscientious of the fact that, she needs to be on good terms with everybody if she wants to come back full time. So anyway, she says that she would like to be able to be cordial with Shannon, to have like an amicable relationship. And, that was kind of surprising. I want to remind you guys that Shannon and Alexis had never met each other until Heather's event. They knew of each other, obviously, but they had never met each other. They were never at an event together. They were never in the same room together until Heather's event. So I did think that was really big of Alexis to say something like that. Shannon's like, I appreciate it, but like, yeah, whatever. That was more or less the end of the party. Okay, Jenn. So we see Jenn, and she's meeting with her boyfriend, whose name I cannot remember, but he is like involved in this baseball scandal. And Gina actually called out Jenn, and she spoke about it a few times with a few of the ladies at the event. Gina did tell Jenn that, me and you, we're going to have like a sit down. I'm feeling a certain way. We need to talk about it, all this other stuff. towards the end of the episode, she did sit down with Jenn and she spoke about it. She let her know, like, you know, you cost me money. You cost me $50,000. I vouched for you. I had somebody that was available with a cash offer. And because I'm your friend, I vouched for you. And that was money that you took out of my kid's mouth. And she was like, you know, she also said to Emily and even to Katie that, you know, like it was mess up of Jenn because like that hurts her reputation as a realtor because this is how she's making her livelihood. She's vouching for somebody in the industry and that looks bad for her when she's getting evicted for non-payment. Allegedly, supposedly, she was able to get a loan and a lease for that house, condo, apartment, whatever it was that she was living in. Gina vouched for her so that she didn't need to have like I guess like a credit check or like to provide financial statements or whatever because she was vouched for by Gina and that hurt Gina's reputation and whatever. At their sit down, Gina tells her all of that. But what I really loved, or I'm not sure if I loved it, but what I really liked was she said to her, it is not your ex-husband's responsibility and it's not your boyfriend's responsibility to take care of you. It is your own responsibility. Basically, she was telling her to woman up, you know, put your big girl panties on and woman up. It's not, I mean, she said it perfectly. It's not your boyfriend's responsibility. It's not your ex-husband's responsibility. It's your responsibility to freaking support yourself, to take care of yourself. I kind of saw that scene with her and her parents and it was cringe as fuck. This woman is 46 years old and she's like playing up to her parents with the cameras rolling, and it's like I as a viewer felt that her parents, her father was very aware of the fact that the camera was on. He felt probably very awkward. What is he going to do on national television when you have your daughter, your 46-year-old daughter acting that way? And it's like she put him on the spot. She put him on a spot where it's like he wouldn't even be able to like tell her like, you know, be a woman, like take care of your kids. You've got like freaking 5 kids. There's a camera in your face. And I feel like when you put somebody on the spot like that, it's like such an awkward situation. That scene with her parents was like cringe as fuck. So look, she definitely wants to be a kept woman, but she's also 46 years old with 5 kids. So there's only so much that she could go with it. You know what I'm saying? Like eventually your heyday goes past you and you need something else to fall back on. And look, Tamara is actually a perfect example of that. Tamara, she lost her paycheck from Bravo and instantly, the first thing she did was sell her house because she could not afford the mortgage. She downgraded to what she could afford. And then, you know what? She went on to do her podcast with Teddy and they're killing it as far as like the Bravo universe goes. Okay, so Tamara and Eddie, they have like some luncheon meetup, which is like, what the hell? Their luncheon meetup was basically just to talk shit about their castmates. Like, I kind of felt like producers were like, what the hell? Like, I don't know. I just kind of felt like producers really like that is what you're giving us, like a freaking sit down lunch between Tamara and her husband just for her talking shit about the other castmates as if it was like some sort of commentary that we needed her opinion of or whatever. I mean, that's basically what she was doing. Like that scene with her and Eddie, she was talking shit about all her castmates and it was basically her giving like a Fox News commentary about like what the fuck was going on. So I just thought that was really weird, but maybe she's just been a podcast host for so long that she feels like this is kind of like second nature to her at this point, and this is just how she does things. I don't know. Apparently she's moving her and her kids in with her boyfriend. I mean, Tamara says it perfectly. What are you going to do if it doesn't work out with you and the guy? You know, like you're going to be homeless again, basically. And in a flashback, I guess when they were working out, you see Tamara, Jenn, Emily, and whatever, they were working out together, and Tamara has said to her, like, why would you sign a lease if you can't afford the rent? And she said, well, I didn't know that I couldn't afford the rent. Here's the thing though, in these housewife franchises, the OC, New Jersey, all of these franchises, not so much Beverly Hills. I haven't really seen it on Beverly Hills except for like with Dorit and with Erica, but like in the other franchises, you see this a lot. They overextend their credit and, you know, they want to portray a lifestyle that they don't necessarily have. And in order to do that, they put themselves in debt and they end up, you know, going into bankruptcy court, getting sued, getting evicted, getting all this other stuff. And we have seen this on multiple franchises. So I'm sure that she needed a place to film. She needed whatever and all this other stuff. And, you know, this is playing out on TV, but I don't think she wants to like acknowledge the fact that she is a 46-year-old woman that needs to get a job. It's probably hard for her because I don't think that she has something to fall back on, and she's not very realistic because even in her confessional, she says, well, you know, she says something stupid. She says something like, you know, well, just because I can't afford my rent doesn't mean like my hair needs to look as bad as yours or some shit like that she was saying about Gina. I don't even know. It doesn't even like fucking make sense to me. Like, girl, you're fucking broke at this point. Get a job. I mean, I don't know how much Bravo is paying her, but whatever, man. You need something to fall back on. Andy Cohen says this all the time. Do not depend on that Bravo paycheck. You know, nobody. The housewife position on any Bravo franchise is not secure. And you should use your status as a housewife on the Bravo network as a launching pad for a business or whatever the hell, because your status, a housewife, is not secure. This is not a secure employment. So I don't think any of these ladies really listen to any of that. Anyway, so we get to know a little bit more about Katie. Katie is from Korea. She was adopted. She says that her other siblings were adopted from Georgia, but she was adopted from Korea. So I'm wondering if her and Sutton know each other from like Georgia. Just wondering if that's how they know each other. Did they know each other from Georgia? Like, we still haven't figured out how the fuck they know each other. Maybe they'll tell us when Sutton makes her cameo appearance on OC. Her daughter, she had her daughter when she was 20 years old, which kind of raised an eyebrow for me. And she says something like, well, I had my daughter when I was 20, so I beat the teenage mom. I beat the teenage mom stereotype because I had my daughter when I was 20. I mean, she was still a very young mother, 20. You're not even legally allowed to drink. And she said that, you know, she grew up like very white and Catholic, but her daughter wanted to like know more about her Korean heritage. But I did find her very relatable. And I found that, you know, like I like her attitude. I like the way she was. And I find her more enjoyable to watch than Crystal. I felt like Crystal from Beverly Hills had like a really weird relationship with her brother that was kind of like creepy. And then I did not like Jenny from Salt Lake City, because Jenny from Salt Lake City, I felt like she was a little bit too much. I did like Jen Shaw, but you know, Jen Shaw is like freaking 4 hours away from me in a Texas federal camp. Jules was on the original RHOC, but she was only there for like one season. And Jules is like half Korean and half Jewish, which is like a very weird mix. And, you know, I like Jules, but I've also found her a little bit hard to watch because Jules had like an eating disorder or something. And I actually think Jules was the first Real Housewife cast member on any franchise to like actually state that like she had an eating disorder. And who else was there? Was there any other Asian cast member? Oh yeah, Lisa from Atlanta, right? She was half black and half Chinese. She's actually over there she's no longer on Atlanta, but she's on like some show with Carlos King that he produces. Or I don't know if she's still on there or not, but you guys know who I'm talking about, right? Like if you guys are into Real Housewives of Atlanta like that, then you know who I'm talking about. Lisa, she was half black and half Chinese. Anyway, so I do enjoy Katie. You know, I enjoy watching her, and I'll be curious to see like what her storyline is. It seems like she already has beef with Heather, so I don't know if that is like what this is building up into. There was this very awkward moment while they were exercising. They were on the beach or something, and she says, well, what does Jen's boyfriend, like what does he do? And it was like, she said, well, he's not working right now, or he's not doing anything right now. And Katie's face was just like, okay, like, you know, she was trying to be polite, but you could tell she was thinking, man, this guy's a bum or like a sham or something. Like he's not working. Like, what's he doing? And she says something like, oh, you know, he seems to just like sit out in the sun and do nothing all day. Like, girl, I mean, unless you have generational wealth, like unless you are the Rockefeller, you know what? The Rockefeller. Okay. So unless you are the Rockefellers, you need to have like that level of generational wealth where you could just sit there and do nothing. But I did enjoy the scene where Shannon and Gina kind of made up a little bit. Shannon apologizes to Gina for like basically, you know, all the times that she was like dogging her for her DUI, and said, you know, I'm so embarrassed, and like basically being in your shoe now, I realized that I was acting like an asshole. And it was very nice. And, you know, Gina accepts her apology. They hug it out. Emily's there also. The three of them hug it out. I mean, that is really it. That was the episode, guys. Did I miss anything? Let me know. Let me know if I missed anything. Guys, what do you think? I mean, are we even interested in the whole freaking Alexis, Shannon, and John Jansen bullshit? Because I am not. I feel like Alexis is trying to make it into something so that she would have a reason to keep on coming back. But legit, if Alexis is not there, we're not going to see John either. So, but it's too good to be true for a producer. So of course there's going to be something that happens where the three of them are all going to be in the same room. It's going to be awkward, whatever. You know, maybe we'll see something more with like Jenn and her boyfriend and the whole MLB scandal and whatever else. Not that I'm looking forward to it, but I'm more interested in that than I am with whatever bullshit Alexis, John Jansen, and Shannon have going on. What do you think? How do you rate that episode? What do you think of the season? What are you anticipating about the season? What do you guys think about Tamra? What do you think about Shannon? What do you think about Alexis? What do you guys think about John Jansen? Let me know. And that's it. And before I go, guys, don't forget to hit the like, follow, subscribe, leave me a comment, and all that good stuff. Head on over to my other social media platforms. And that's it, guys. I will see you next time. Bye.